Oh god, we're gonna have to try to explain all this to her. She's gonna believe us. But... Yuuko Sensei's office. Feels, I guess, familiar is the right word. It's been 2 whole years since I last was in here. Oh, what do you expect? After you left, they had me under a microscope for 4 hours straight, doing all sorts of inspections. Yeah, but I didn't think they'd give me a full cavity search, let alone take blood samples. Once again, I'm reminded just how special the ID Yuuko Sensei gave me last time must have been. True enough, whatever. Guess it's still leaps and bounds better than being locked up for days on end. The fact that they've let me come all the way down here means means they're convinced I'm not a threat. All that's left is to find a way to get her to believe me. What was it that convinced her last time? If we could just figure that out. Oh, what did you think? I'm sure there were things in there you could tell would have been impossible to make with this world's technology. For some reason, my room always seems to come along with me to this world. The interior is always exactly the same as it was in my own world. I know, that keeps bothering me, actually. The game guy and tape deck in particular, the kind of luxury goods, just don't exist over here. They ought to give my words at least some credibility. Huh? What are you talking about? No way. I was just there this morning. I woke up, changed clothes, and then came over here. How could there be nothing there? Look harder. Huh? That's not possible. This isn't my room. What the hell? What in the hell is going on here? I don't get it. I'm blanking out. Fuck. Yes. First I ever heard of it was on the night of December the 24th from the base CEO himself. 2001. Of this year, the upcoming one, 2 months from now. I have no idea why or how, but for whatever reason I've been sent back here to this moment in time. And because of that, I already know how things are going to play out and when. Does ask questions. So you believe me then? No, of course not. That's fair. Oh, is that all? Fine, guess that'll do for now. You'll have no choice but to believe me sooner or later anyway. Right, there's a lot I don't know, but the information I do have should make a pretty huge difference for Yuuko-sensei. I've just gotta keep on talking, for as long as it takes to get her to believe me. Fuck. He said that, in addition to serving as the Far East's final defense line, Yokohama Base was also a crucial part of a top-secret research program that could hold the key to humanity's victory. He called it the Alternative Program, and said that research for its fourth contingency plan, Alternative 4, had been conducted here. He also said that you were the driving force behind the project, and that it's the main reason this base was constructed. But that's not all. On December 24th, Alternative 4 will cease operations. That night we were all summoned by the base CO. That's when he told us about the Alternative Program. And that Alternative 4 was being scrapped in favor of 5. The reason for its cancellation was simple. Alternative 4 hadn't produced any results, so they were shifting their resources to Alternative 5. We were all totally crushed by the news, and I could tell you were too, Sensei. Correct. Now do you see what I mean? We're running out of time. If I had to beat around the bush earlier since we weren't alone, but you've got to find a way to squeeze 15 billion semiconducting parallel computing circuits into the palm of your hand by then. There's still a ton of work that needs to be done, Sensei. I bet that brain over in the next room has something to do with it, right? That's a gun. All I want is to prevent Alternative 5 from happening and to defeat the beta. So how's the hypothesis holding up so far? You willing to trust me? Yeah, that's why she's holding a gun to her face. What? Why the hell would a secret agent ever make up such a ridiculously unbelievable cover story? What the hell, man? Then why did you take me under your wing last time? Probably because there wasn't really anything. You weren't fucking throwing around all these top secret fucking words, you know? What made you give me such a high level security pass and everything? Fantasy? For God's sake, what the hell do I have to do to get you to believe me? Is this really what you want? Yes, what you want. Do you really want to help a measly 100,000 of us escape to the stars and leave a billion more on Earth to die? Of course you don't. When it happened last time, I found you drunk out of your mind, bawling your eyes out. So please, put that brain of yours to work. Find a way to prevent it from happening. If you just completed Alternative 4, then it would have never come to that, right? Damn it, why the hell am I crying? It's like there's this gaping hole in my heart where something used to be, along with a profound sense of regret for having let it go. What is this? Why do I feel so sad? Is it because I couldn't do anything to save humanity? It feels like I was forced to give up the one thing I cared about more than anything else. I can't remember what it was, but what the hell kind of professor are you anyway? Whether you've lived through it like I have or not, you should still be able to recognize the threat we're facing here. Are you really a genius, or was that all just talk? She's still the one holding the gun, my dude. I'm not letting Alternative 5 happen again. We have to make 4 work, no matter what. So tell me, Sensei, do you really feel like pulling that trigger? I'm not afraid to die. Whether I act like it or not, I've learned that what it means to be a soldier. Which, by the way, is all thanks to you. That's right. Before I got here, I was just an ordinary high school student living in a world without the beta. I just woke up one day and found myself here in this world gone to hell. I figured it must have been a dream, so I went to check out my school, and lo and behold, there was Yokohama Base in its place. I was arrested at the gates, interrogated, and thrown in a cell, until finally I met you. But I already knew all the stuff that was going to happen this time, so I did things a little differently. Last time I just appeared out of nowhere, which might be why you really took an interest in me. You gave me an ID with a pretty high security clearance level and put me in the Surface Pilot Training Academy. You asked me a lot about this world I came from. Then you introduced me to Kasumi and showed me that brain. Pretty much everything I know about this world I learned from you, Sensei. I still think you're the main reason I was able to get by in that crazy, twisted world. But I don't want to die for nothing either. So if you really intend to shoot me, I just want you to know that I'll do whatever it takes to survive. Yeah, I do. That's a great question. I honestly don't know, but when you told me I was going to help with your research, I do remember you saying something like, well, it's not entirely impossible. What is it? I wouldn't have a shred of evidence to support my claims. Other than the handful of people who are already in the know, who do you think would believe me? Not to mention, I have no way of proving my identity in this world. Even if I tried to tell someone else, they'd probably just think I was out of my mind. That's right. Without you, none of the intel I have can be put to good use. You've got a lot of authority around here, don't you? If you're that concerned, then why don't you just pull up my file or something? Was 4 hours of inspections and interrogations not enough to convince you? It might be a harsh reality to accept, but I'm afraid the facts are pretty objective. That was what you told me back then, and I'm still trying to convince myself this world was just a dream. Her gun's still pointed straight at me. Yeah, I doubt that's gonna lower anytime soon. Sure is clacking away on that keyboard. What's she even trying to look up? Might be a harsh reality to accept, but I'm afraid the facts are pretty objective. Huh. I'm impressed that line popped into my head just then. And the fact that Sensei reacted to it means I'm clearly not just blowing smoke here. Oh. After staring pensively at the monitor for a while, Sensei finally lowers her gun. Does that mean she believes me? Fuck, it just pulls out a bigger gun. Sensei?
まったく面白いことになったわね。
I just noticed the banner behind her says Alternative 4 on it. I never noticed that before. Huh?
確かにありえない話じゃないのよ。
Sensei? Or did you like find proof that I'm not an agent or something?
もともと工作員だなんて思ってないわ。理由はあなたがさっき言った通りよ。
Yeah, because a real secret agent wouldn't do something this stupid, obviously.
私の暗殺が目的なら最初に会った時に何かしらやっているはずだしね。
So you must have figured I was just some crazy kid, huh? Now that I think about it, it would have been much weirder if she'd believed me right off the bat. Yeah, no shit.
ただのおかしなやつにしては知りすぎていた。私の頭の中にしかなかったことまで。
Hmm. And those would be?
しかも検査結果といいこれといい面白すぎるわ。
Go on. What do you mean?
あなたの言っていること、少なくともあなた自身が嘘だと思っていないということが証明された。
Huh? You have? How the hell can you verify that? I don't know, but if there's anyone who can find a way, it's
あ
her.
なたの言うことが真実か、それともただの精神異常か。
Whatever. Right now, it's not worth getting hung up on that. The important thing here is... So then, you're giving me the benefit of the doubt, basically.
100% じゃないわ。でも信じるに足る理由があるのよ。
What's that supposed to mean?
それは言えないわ。まだね。
I understand.
でもあなたをそばに置いておくには十分。
Hey, that's all I'm asking for. Won't expect anything more.
そう。
Phew. It all begins here. This is where my battle begins. I won't let them abandon the Earth again. Don't want to have to live through that a second time. Well, I mean, I did see all the endings for Unlimited, so I did live through it a few times.
こんなもの構えることになるなんて思わなかったわ。
Speaking of which,
何？
well, if I recall correctly, you've never had firearms training.
ほら。
If you try to use a 9mm without training, there's no way you'll hit your target, not even from the distance and using both hands.
はいはい、わかったわ。それも一度見たから知ってたってわけ。
Nah, I was way too tense to think of that. It only just occurred to me.
そう。じゃあ仕切り直しということ
Yeah, I
で。
was running back. Sure.
あなたはどういうわけか時間を遡って2回目のこの時間を体験している。で、そこで以前の私について質問があるわ。
What is it?
並列処理装置や隣の部屋のこと。私はなぜあなたに話したの？
I think it might have been because I wasn't from this world to begin with.
さっきも言ってたわね。元の世界にはベータがいないとかなんとか。
My memory's a little fuzzy at this point, but yes, I come from a world without beta. Or at least, that's what I believed. The world I was born and raised in was nowhere near as horrific as this one. It was a peaceful world. No beta, no nothing. Well, no, there were still wars between humans, but even then, it was a far cry from a total worldwide crisis like this. Peaceful, huh? There's a word I've gained a newfound respect for lately. In fact, it was Yuuko-sensei who really got me thinking about it, when she pointed out that most of the world wasn't like Japan. Oh yeah, and a lot of the people I met in this world also existed in mine, and while their personalities were the same, their circumstances were very different. This building was my high school, not a military base. You and Marimo-chan were my teachers there, and the surface pilots and cadets were my classmates.
エベレット解釈ってわかる？
Huh?
多世界解釈って言えばわかるかしら？つまり平行世界とかそういうものだと思っている？
Can't speak to the science behind it, but that does sound about right, yeah. Just one thing though, my childhood friend, Kagami Sumika, wasn't in the previous version of this world.
鏡住か。
Yeah, you told me that she didn't exist in any of your databases, then you said I should forget all about her, or I just look like a sissy, or something like that. Though at this point, I totally get why you had to say that. People have a totally different way of thinking here. So anyway, you took an interest in me and said I was going to assist you in your research.
研究？
I never actually found out. You just called me down here from time to time and asked me questions about my world.
そう。それで？
Eventually, you granted me special off-the-book security clearance so I could access this floor at will. which is why I was able to help get Kasumi on that shuttle.
我ながら大胆ね。
Oh, but you didn't give me authorization to access any classified information. I probably could have lied about that one, but it's not worth the risk now that she's finally starting to believe me. Facts. Need to be completely honest with her.
あなたの話を聞くためだけにそんなことをしたの？
I guess. Doesn't make sense to you either, huh? I never really understood it myself, honestly. What do you think your plan was?
さあ、私のこととは言っても、そればっかりはね。
Oh yeah, that stuff about the semiconductors. You just told me that when you were drunk. I didn't make it a point of asking you about it or anything.
じゃあ、隣の部屋の話。私は何か
Not really.
あなたに説明をした？
Come to think of it, no. All you ever did was make a one-off joke about Kasumi being your daughter.
そう。
Yep.
で、確認だけど、私があなたを英士訓練学校に入れたのね。
That's right. You gave me a place to stay here.
ここでのあなたの立場は？
I was a member of Cadet Squad 207.
なるほど。我ながらいいアイディアだわ。今回もそうしましょう。
Sensei, like I said before, we really don't have time for that. We'll never make it in time if we start over from scratch.
私も言ったわよね。条件付きって。
That is fair.
100% 信用したわけじゃないの。
I know.
それでも破格の条
I
件
mean,
だ
yeah,
と思
you
う。
come out here spouting all this crazy shit, and she's like, alright, let's just fucking play it how it was. We'll see how it turns out. Like, that's more than you could have hoped for when, like, fucking 5 minutes ago you had a gun to your face. Alright then.
そう。じゃあ、早速手続きをするわ。
It's not even dark out yet. Figured it would be a lot later by now.
すべての準備を整えたわ。グラウンドに行ってちょうだい。いちいち場所は言わなくてもわかるわよね。
It took a little doing, but it looks like I've made my way back into Squad 207. And I've even got the same security pass to boot, meaning I've got unrestricted access to B-19F. Judging from Sensei's attitude, which seems even more interested in me than last time, which makes sense because what I know this time is much more valuable to her. Alright, this is where the real fight begins. No matter what it takes, I have to see Alternative 4 through to completion. Not that I can have the slightest idea what I could possibly do to help with that. Still, Yuuko-sensei knows what needs to be done. She just didn't make it in time is all. I just have to make sure she meets the deadline this time around. But how the hell am I supposed to do that? I'm gonna have to figure something out, and fast. Let's see here, what can I do to help?
もし、そこのお方。
Maya? Huh? Who, me? Ah. Maya. I mean, I knew they'd all be up at the field, but still. Got this weird fuzzy feeling for a second there. Not sure it's just nostalgia or what.
何か
Oh, right, she's probably wondering why I'm just blankly staring at her like this.
どうかされましたか？
Huh? What the hell? No, sorry, how can I help? It's making me really uncomfortable to hear Maya speaking like this to me. Why is that? It's because her tone's so formal, maybe? No, that can't be it. Maya's always talked like that. Polite, formal, maybe a little old-fashioned.
危険ですゆえ、外部の方のここから先の立ち入りはご遠慮ください。
No, actually, I,
どなたかをお探しですか？三剣、いいんだ。教官。
Arima-chan, it's been so long. Haven't seen you in years.
白金健だな。
Yes.
ではこの者が。招待集合。
Hello, ladies. Huh? Where's Makoto? Oh, right, she's still in the hospital.
207招待集合しました。よし、では紹介しよう。新しく207招待に配属された白金健訓練兵だ。
My name's Shirogane Takeru. Nice to meet you all.
見ての通り男だ。し
He's
かも
probably noticed
こ
he's
の
a
時期という
man.
ので驚いただろうが、とある事情によりこれまで徴兵免除を受けていたものだ。
Yeah, it's complicated. Anyway, it's good to meet you all.
訓練には明日から参加してもらう。
Being all fucking
わかったな。
professional and shit now.
はい。とりあえずは一緒に食事でもして早く交流を深めることだ。榊、食事の後弊社への案内などもろもろ頼んだぞ。はい。では残り10分、引き続き訓練だ。白金は少し見学していろ。
Understood. Okay. So they're just doing laps, huh? I remember panting like a dog when they first made me run 10 clicks. and everyone started giving me shit for it. Well, mostly just class rep. Huh, whoa, wait a sec. If time's the only thing that's been reset and my body's still the same as it used to be, it means I'm not going to be holding the others back once training starts tomorrow. Given how well I handled myself in that little scrap at the front gate, running 10 clicks should be a piece of cake. So then, does that mean we could all graduate faster if we play our cards right? Oh? That was the last thing the base CO said to me back when I was begging him to tell us what the alternative program actually was. At the end of the day, we were only cadets. It didn't matter how noble our intentions were or how desperately we wanted to protect our planet and its people. None of it made a lick of difference without the rank and authority to back it up. That was one hard pill to swallow. This country's looking for every service pilot it can get. The only reason we weren't sent to the front lines was because Alternative 5 was put into effect, and that changed everything. Maybe we just have to get commissioned, right? Once we graduate, Yuuko-sensei can assign us to missions that'll help Alternative 4 move forward. We'll have access to more intel. The information I have can be put to better use, and people might even listen to us. Everything would change. Alright then, I think that's settled. For now, my #1 objective is to graduate as soon as humanly possible. Once I get commissioned, I'll have a little bit more say around here, and that might come in handy if I'm going to be a player in any of Yuuko-sensei's plans. I might even be able to make some other allies of our own. Should have asked Yuuko-sensei more about Alternative 4. What could have caused your plans to fail? I bet she's struggling with the exact same problems right now. In any case, I saw this played out in the end. I want to find some way to make the people upstairs listen to me. If they don't start making some serious changes, that tragedy is just going to repeat itself. In order to prevent that, I have to earn their trust somehow. This is so dang frustrating. If only I had more people on my side. Now, I'm sick and tired of making excuses. The fate of the Earth and all mankind is on the line here. I don't have time to whine. I'm the one who's lived through it, so I'm the one who's got to do something about it. And I'm gonna get everyone else on board, whether they like it or not. Alright then, it's settled. There's one thing that's kind of bugging me though. I keep racking my brain over this, but I can't remember why I feel so strongly about all of this. Finding a way back to my world was my top priority up until that Christmas. The only thing that kept me going was the hope that I'd find some way home eventually, right? In that case, why was I so devastated when the CEO told me it was all for naught? I still remember how outraged and powerless I felt, just like it was yesterday. I think that was the moment I came to terms with the fact that I was probably going to remain in this world till the day I died. But I can't remember why I suddenly felt okay with that. Was there some sort of catalyst that changed my perspective? Could it be that after living alongside these people who had to fight every day for survival, I eventually started to feel like one of them? Right.
早かったな。だって案内の必要なんか全くないんだもん。ん？まるで何年もここにいたみたいに飲み込みが早くて、さっさと終わらせろって感じだったわ。
Now he knows too much. That's gonna be what happens, right? In Unlimited, he didn't know anything about this world at all, so that made them suspicious. But now he knows too much about this world, so that's gonna make them suspicious. That's the shit, right? What's the big deal, class rep? Just means I did a good job studying beforehand. Whoops.
なんだかわからないけどこの調子よ。いい加減呆れてたところ。
Sorry about that. You just look so much like my class representative from high school, that's all.
その言い訳、聞き飽きた。
Well, that's my excuse, goddammit. I gotta stop acting all buddy-buddy with her. If I burn my bridges here, we're screwed. Our unity as a team has a huge impact on morale and our ability to perform. Damn, it's really tough figuring out where to draw the line. Kyosuke? Oh, hey, it's Mrs. Kyosuke. Oh man, this is such a trip. I haven't seen her since this base was repossessed and repurposed for Alternative 5. So she's here too, huh? Yeah, of course she would be.
白金、これを教官から預かってきたぞ。ありがとう。白金、それ明日までに暗記して。
That's my oath. I shall fulfill my duty to maintain international peace and order. Oh yeah, this thing. I do kind of remember having to recite this now that I think about it.
へえ、知ってるんだ。
Huh? No, I just heard about it from a friend of mine who wanted to join the UN forces.
そうなんですか。
Yeah, thanks, Miki. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, no, it checks out. Yeah.
ところで白金、
Huh? What is it?
聞いておきたいことがあるの。
Sure, what's up?
担当直入に聞くわね。あなた、
Huh?
神宮寺教官からは特別な人物だと聞かされているわ。
Right.
それは私たち、いえ、ひいてはこの国のこの星。
Yeah, that's the plan at least.
それは頼もしいな。
頑張りましょうね、白金さん。
Yeah, let's.
私たちはその特別の意味するところまでは詮索しない。だが、
Well, I mean, now that's more warranted than it was before when you said that. Oh, I get it now. They were like this back then too. That time I had no idea what they were asking about.
光月博士と神宮寺教官のお墨付きだからきっと大丈夫だよ。だといいけど。
1ヶ月もすれば総合戦闘技術評価演習があるわ。それは何としても成
Will
功
I
させ
bring
な
the
くちゃいけ
fuel
ない。
with me? Oh, now all the things that went wrong with when I went with Makoto, that I can do all this differently now. I can be like, no, Makoto, you stay away from that ledge. We take the fuel with us. We take the boat. Is that what's going to go down here? Absolutely. It's like the culmination of all our basic training, so we can't afford to fail.
知ってるの？
I've just heard a lot about it is all.
うーん。
Yep, it's going to be the same shit. They're going to be suspicious of him because he knows too much.
それに先んじてあと1週間もすれば鎧も戻ってくるはずだ。その時には207小隊を最強のチームにしておき
What's
た
he
い
going
も
to
の
say
だ。
about knowing Makoto? Yoroi.
鎧さんは訓練中に怪我をして今入院中なんです。
さまざまな方面、特にサバイバルに関しての知識については右に出るものが
Or
ない
wait,
のね。
because we're no longer like dead weight in this world, are we going to be partnered with a different person for the combat skill exam? Oh, I see. Can't wait to meet her. Again.
とにかく期待してるからね、白金。
Sure thing. Just go easy on me, alright? Yeah, easy.